What's cracking, people? It's your man Cousin T, aka the Alpha Wingman, representing the high-level technicians operating globally and beyond. So listen, today I wanted to pick up on a video or an upload that I left off on the other day regarding the roster positions of a select man, or an ASP, Master of the Universe, or USP. And basically I was talking about the mentorship of a PYT for all the young cats who aren't familiar with what that means. That means pretty young thing. That's basically, like a college aged to a fresh out aged young woman. And basically when I thought about this and the number of mentees that I've had over the course of my interactions with young tenders, I thought about how I would go about the business of mentoring younger, fresh women, and how over time it became sort of so the way that my mind works, I like to be methodical about things. I like to observe instances and scenarios so that I can refine them and streamline them and make them better and make them more beneficial and see how I can add value to those interactions. And so over time, I've developed a system for mentoring successfully PYTs and what I call the circle of mentorship. Now, just to give you a brief background before I go into these steps, I do have a project manager or project management background, and anyone who's familiar with project management or even the business cycle, you know that the business cycle is can basically be broken down into 5 positions. That's startup, then growth, expansion, maturity, and then ultimately transition. So when I was thinking about this particular podcast, I thought it'd be cool to apply the method of successfully mentoring a PYT through the cycle of mentorship. So without further ado, let's get into it. And the first thing that I have to always ask is, who are you? Gentlemen, and anyone within the sound of my voice, do you know who you actually are to begin with? Because none of this means anything. It doesn't matter. None of it makes sense if you don't know who you are, if you're not secure in your position. Now, my future technicians are currently working on that over on Patreon, plug. But knowing who you are, knowing yourself, knowing what your environment is like, knowing your standing, in your world, is a key factor in being able to successfully mentor a PYT. See, a man producing his vision is like a flower producing nectar. Those pretty little winged things come from miles around, and they will find you. They will make their way to you. So initially, you don't really have to go searching for a mentee. When the student is ready, the master will appear. That's an ancient proverb right there. So in any case, what are you? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you a teacher? Are you a bar or restaurant manager? Are you a casino pit boss? Are you a general contractor, a CPA? Are you an M&A or merger and acquisition principal facilitator? It doesn't matter. There are countless career positions. There are countless vocations. There are countless jobs that you can find yourself as an actuated, mature man, whereas you've built a system and you've developed a way that works within your space. And keep this in mind, gentlemen. There are literally hundreds of thousands of young women turning 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 every single day of the year, and twice in a leap year. So, gentlemen, you've caught your stride. and you know your path and worth and have your signature style and your way about things. So let's get into the cycle. Your flower is fragrant and the nectar has attracted PYT, and she's come fluttering up to your space. Let's go in with the startup. Start up the conversation that leads to showing her a new tangible that she's never been taught before. Always make sure it's about her world, not yours. Now, I add that caveat because I personally am against dating someone or seeing someone or mentoring someone in your workspace because of all of the potential pitfalls and traps. So if you meet someone outside of where you personally work, however, still within that industry, that will be an ideal space to discover your mentee. Just keep that in mind. Next, grow her interest in that tangible as it is associated with you. Remember what I stated earlier. This is your signature stamp on whatever that tangible that you have to share with this new mentee is. This is your way of doing things. This is your way of handling the back office. This is your way of handling the books or managing the front of house or whatever it is that you offer to your career space. Always offer these tangibles with a flirting freeness that flows, that's comfortable. When you're flirting, you should be comfortable. It should be natural. She will follow the leader and start flirting back because all of this that you're doing is encoding this tangible with your signature stamp on it. Next, expand the territory of that tangible and show how she could use it for life. Now, at this point, you should already be engaged in a consensual liaisons. You should definitely be staining that ass because believe me when I say, gentlemen, since day one of this interaction, since day one of this professor-pupil relationship, every word that you have been instructing her in has been having her throbbing from deep down inside. Trust. Next, maturely advise that she maintain her roster positions and even explore how the use of that tangible that you're teaching her can position her for self-sustainability on into the future. Of course you know that she has her own roster. Of course you know that she has at least 4 other men or guys that she has at her beck and call and that are jockeying for position in her hierarchy. You're mature enough to even admit and let her know about it. You can discuss that with her. You can give her advice on how to better maneuver those spots within her roster. This will either make her love you for your grown man honesty or love you because she hates that this relationship will end at some point because of, life. Lastly, transition her either into one of your permanent roster positions if she's exemplary and she has earned a spot, or empower her to explore the great big world from under your wing, which will ever always be there should she need a cozy refill of your wisdom, honesty, and that grown man daddy dick. So as always, this is your man, Cousin T, aka the Alpha Wingman, saying stay sharp and mission focused. Later.